time to motivate your mind. Come with me, let's make this moment brighter. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Come on and wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of Bahamas at Sunrise. We are up dead early on a fantastic Friday. I am Marc Daniels, one of your hosts for the day.
And I'm Ebony Bahamas, your co-host.
Ebony, it's so great having you back on a fantastic Friday, bringing all this energy. How have you been?
Great! It's Friday, y'all. We're excited to be here on Bahamas at Sunrise. It's the weekend, so I'm excited to see what's on and popping this weekend.
Yeah, well, before we get into all of that, I first gotta put down my tablet, look into the camera, and I've got to wish my mother, Lenora Daniels, the grandest birthday of all. I am wishing you happy birthday, Mommy. Sending you all the love. I could never repay you for all of the things you've done for me and continue to do for me and my family. Enjoy your day. Enjoy another lap around the sun. We're going to party later. And as we talk about birthdays, we also want to wish Demi Forbes a special happy birthday as well. And we also have my nephews. Your birthday is tomorrow, Cole and Lance, and my aunt and Trudy Sands. Her birthday is tomorrow. I surrounded by plenty good October people.
Listen, it's a birthday affair for Marc today, but wishing everyone in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas celebrating a birthday today. Feliz cumpleaños. Happy birthday.
Yes, feel the cumpleaños. That's what you said.
Feliz cumpleaños.
Feliz cumpleaños. Yay! All right.
Woo!
And we're going to have ourselves a great show today. We're going to be talking to Dr. James Iferenta about his upcoming presentation at the Exuma Business Outlook. And also the national cricket team is here to talk about their semifinals happening this weekend. And we'll also discuss the new minimum wage in our Economic Pulse segment.
Today we're also going to talk to Ferguson-Duncombe about her journey with breast cancer, and also the owner of Bahama Foodie is here to talk about her venture as well.
I know we need to be talking about food, but I think it's...
Think she brought any?
I hope so, because it's vegan, so it's good. It's good. It's good. Before we go on, TCL wants to invite you again to our Exuma Business Outlook happening on Thursday, October 20th. This will be a hybrid event, so you can join us in person in Exuma or online via Zoom. You can register at tclevents.com. It's always a wonderful session, very informative. Make sure you find yourself there. Before we get into our show, let's find out what's happening this weekend with the weather. We had plenty of rain last night. It was dead wet. God free. We needed to be dead dry this weekend.
Please.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Marc, and good morning, Bahamas. And your first look at weather at sunrise. Prefrontal activity passed through the northwest Bahamas last night with lots of showers and thunderstorms. Now present in the central Bahamas, San Salvador, Exuma, Cat Island, triggering off pockets of showers and thunderstorms. The cold front, though, will pass through sometime late this morning across Grand Bahama and Abaco, and by late evening across New Providence, should stall in the Exuma Keys by Saturday. Today, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies, with some gradual improvement on northwest Bahamas by this morning, but continuing cloudy over the central Bahamas and the same that prefrontal activity. We're looking at partly sunny, but increasing clouds over the southeastern islands by late afternoon, high temperature reaching 87. Tonight, partly cloudy, still on the warm side, and there's a chance of some showers and thunderstorms, particularly along that frontal boundary during the nighttime early tomorrow. Low temperature going down to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. And some regional highs and lows across the Caribbean. Barbados, 87 and 79. In Jamaica, 88 and 79. In Trinidad, 89 and 75. And the Turks and Caicos Islands, 88 and 77. Across North America, Atlanta, 76 and 49. In Raleigh, 70 and 47. In Miami, 86 and 74. Dallas, Texas, 90 and 70. And Toronto, Canada, 51 and 45. As you go to the weekend, weak high builds across the northwest and central Bahamas as that frontal system dissipates. And so therefore you have a mix of sun and clouds, still a few lingering showers across the islands, though temperature daytime will be in the upper 80s, at nighttime in the mid-70s. That puts a wrap on your first look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Ebony.
Thank you so much, Godfrey. So we're looking for some wonderful weather this weekend. In addition to that, it is October, and October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so this month, we've invited a special guest here to share her journey with us about breast cancer. And she is Keffie-Duncombe, Ferguson-Duncombe, a educator and a breast cancer survivor. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
And it's great having you here, of course. So tell us a little bit about your experience with breast cancer and when did you receive your diagnosis?
I got diagnosed in, I think it was April 2015. It was an awful day. I got a phone call from my doctor after doing a regular mammogram, and she said, I need to see you right away. And we went in to see her, and she said it was cancer, breast cancer. I just lost my mom to breast cancer a few months earlier, so I was devastated. I was really devastated.
All right, condolences.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about the course of treatment you undertook.
Well, I traveled to Tampa to get, I guess, for me, the best care that I needed. I got a double mastectomy. I got both breasts off. I did 6 rounds of chemo, and I got reconstruction done. The reconstruction was done by a process they call transflap, where they remove the fat from my tummy and put it into my breast to make them nice and perky.
Oh, hey, okay, queen. Okay, so tell us also a little bit about the support you received from family and friends. I know breast cancer is, everyone has known or it has, some experience with someone who has breast cancer. And so tell us a little bit about the
One of the things that you would want to have is a support system, because just the diagnosis alone is a lot for one person to carry. I always say when I got breast cancer, it wasn't just me, my whole family got it. So we had to go through the motions together. We went through the treatments together. We cut my locks off together. We did those things that, it was rough. It was rough, but having good support kind of reminded me that, hey, I'm not in this journey alone, and that's what God wants. He wants us to be able to do life together.
Yes, and so your faith, tell us a little bit about how your faith helped you to get through.
My faith, it was troubled at the beginning of the journey. It was troubled because I was like, God, I'm afraid of needles. I'm afraid of doctors. What is this all about? And I said to him, the only way I'd be able to get through this, you will have to hold my hand and guide me. Amen. And so he just made a way possible for me to be comfortable with the whole process. And I'm grateful for my pastors, Pastor Mario and Erica Moxie at Bahamas Harvest Church.
I love
them.
them.
They were instrumental in my healing, and I am grateful for my family, my friends for great support, and also my son, Kendall.
Oh, hey, shout out to Kendall. Okay, tell us a little bit about some of the lifestyle changes you had to make. It must not have been easy, like you mentioned.
No, it was not easy at all. I never ate red meat.
Okay.
I was just having chicken and turkey. So after the treatments, I came completely off chicken and turkey and just had seafood. They recommended a plant-based diet, and I did that. But boy, being a Bahamian gal, I have to get my crack conch and my conch fritters and stuff. Yeah, I got a protein.
That's right.
And so I still incorporate a few seafood in my diet, but it's mostly plant-based. And I've learned how to make chicken and make food taste just like the regular, and you don't even miss it.
And keep everything healthy.
Yeah, keep everything healthy. It keeps my weight down. It keeps me energized, especially the spinach and stuff, make my skin look nice and healthy.
Fresh.
Yeah, so it has a lot to do with the dieting. And then I had to exercise often every day. I do it every day now. I try to find a way to do it, even being in the classroom with the children. I try to stay active as much as possible. I don't want to get rusty and get all joint pains, because of the chemo treatment, you end up getting some side effects from the treatment. You have joint pain, you have back pain, you have all kind of pain after the chemo. And so it's important to exercise and live a healthy lifestyle.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You also mentioned, the children. And we know that you are an educator. You're one of the most dynamic, energetic, entertaining educators we have in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Thank you.
And you have something called Story time. So not only are you sharing your story with us, but you share other stories with the students you teach. Tell us a little bit about how you bring the books alive and your story time.
Okay. It happened during COVID. when I didn't have access to the children. I only had them I had them virtually. And so when we came back to school and we went to class, they was like looking at my face, and I'm like looking at them. It's just, I'm not getting through to these children. Because they were home so long with all this stuff with the online and stuff. And so I said, I need something a little different. So I just went to my closet and I put some things together, and I came up with characters, and I'm going to school dressing characters every day. And the students can't wait to see what I'm dressed as. Simple things like Little Red Riding Hood. Yeah, so one day I came to school and I had on my regular clothes, and one of the students came running up to me, "Ms. Duncombe, so today you said nobody?" I was so hurt. I set my stuff inside the car. I always go on the sign on. So the students look forward to it.
Yes, and
even
that's
the teachers look forward to it. I mean, and then I have my music. I walk around with the music to just bring them some excitement. Our kids are going through so much, and they miss so much. And so I find the one thing that made them excited about learning, and I just run with it.
I love that. Awesome. And thank you so much. One final question before we head to the break. Tell us a little bit about, share with the nation a little bit about the importance of early detection when it comes to cancer. Because it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We want persons to know. So just...
Well, that's what saved my life, having it detected early. I have a little business that I do with sisters who are afraid to do mammograms on their own. And so I'll ask them to go with them, just for some encouragement and support. When I went to get my mammogram, it was a scary experience. But I had to do it once a year, and so it was rough. And it isn't always easy to do by yourself. And so you have to be chance of survival, go ahead and get your mammogram done early. Let's not wait until we 45 and 50. If you have a history of cancer in your family, I would suggest you do it earlier. And just go get your mammogram or get the ultrasound to make sure that there are no lumps in your breast, and to make sure that if the lump is there, it's caught early, it wouldn't spread to the lymph nodes to go throughout your body, and you have a fighting chance of survival.
Yes, thank you so
much. So I always say early detection saves lives.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So today we were talking with Miss Keffie Duncombe, Ferguson-Duncombe, Miss Risk, Keffie Ferguson-Duncombe, dynamic educator, as well as breast cancer survivor here on Bahamas at Sunrise. For more information, stay tuned.
So the push-to-talk device is a beautiful device. It operates on our world-class cellular network. You can take pictures, you can take videos, you can put your persons in different groups. If they want the engineering team to have a different communication than the finance team or the security team, you can do that with the push-to-talk device. And that's not something that you can actually do with a regular communications radio device. We have several different types of devices. There's the 380, the 580 plus, and then there's the 590 plus, which is the top of the line device.
I used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem, just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
When I had got prostate cancer, my family didn't know if I was going to live. At Cancer Treatment Centers of America, within days, I got an appointment. They presented me with treatment options, and we set up a robotic prostatectomy. When my scans came back, there are no signs of cancer. They don't see you as a number, they see you as a part of the family. I'm going on with my life. That's a real gift.
Call us at Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
Welcome back. Bahama Foodie is launching a plant-based revolution in the Bahamas, and here to tell us more about this is owner and lead cook Katherine Coakley. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning and thank you for having me.
You know, I love the plant-based revolution. You got the green on. I'm feeling the life, you know, all the ital goodness. So tell us, how long have you been vegan?
I have been plant-based about 3 years, but I've been meatless almost 6.
Awesome. Right?
Yeah.
And what has that been like for you? How has that journey been?
Transformational. I went plant-based because I was dealing with a lot of inflammation in my body. And after going through many doctors, I decided to turn to my faith, and in that, I was led into a fast, which is basically the Daniel fast, fruits and vegetables. And when I saw how it made my body feel, how I felt mentally, physically, I said, okay, that was it. And I came off of meat.
Hey, I know exactly what you're talking about. Those fasts are awesome. They reset you, they recalibrate you, they allow your body to catch itself from all the chemicals and hormones and all of the other toxins you take in day to day. So tell me, what do you love most about a plant-based diet?
Like I said, how transformational the journey is, not just physically. I've been able to maintain my weight. I've been able to have more energy, feel a bit better. But also, I think for a long time, I never knew as a Bahamian woman if I could have stopped eating certain things. So even the mental kind of reframing of saying I'm disciplined with what I put in my mouth. I'm disciplined, I'm intentional about what I eat. I love that I can create dishes that people are like, this is plant-based. I love to see that reaction. I get to be creative. I get to make food that's really good for your body, that helps you make your body feel good, taste good.
Because most people, when they think about, plant-based food, that they say, you take a big piece of lettuce and throw it in the plate and 2 pieces of raw carrot and that's your diet. So explain to us the concept behind Bahama Foodie.
The concept for me specifically as a Bahamian, and I'm happy that the guest before me was talking about a plant-based diet as well, is that I want to showcase Bahamians that you don't have to sacrifice flavor and enjoyment to eat healthy. I still can incorporate the rice, but let's just get a brown rice. You still can incorporate food that you love, like macaroni, but let's just make it dairy-free. Okay? I have the uniqueness of my brand is I get to marry our culture, but also meet it with health. And I think that's what makes it really unique and just makes it really stand out and really makes it attractive.
Well, I know you have my belly grumbling from now. So I need to find out how I could get some of this food. How does your business work?
So Bahama Foodie is completely online. We are in a digital age. So the restaurant is digital. That means you can go to my website and you can read about it, learn about the missions, goals, the intentions, but you can also order your food from beginning to end, schedule your pickup, schedule your delivery, schedule what you want, and we bring the food to you.
That sounds awesome.
Yes.
When do you plan to launch?
So I launch officially on Monday, but pre-orders started happening from Monday, and today, Friday, is the last day to order.
That sounds like I need to get on this website.
Yes.
Cut the interview. Let me bring me a computer. Let me start ordering from now. So, you know, the typical Bahamian, the only time they say vegan is when they say vegan, go buy this chicken. Right? So tell me, is the Bahamas ready to go vegan?
I think COVID showed us that we are. I think COVID showed us, I think one of the things that we learned as a country is that we can't be people that get ready. We have to be people that are ready. And I think our body and immune defense kind of showed that it was important for us to invest in our health. And like I said, we don't have to sacrifice flavor. We don't have to sacrifice culture. We don't have to sacrifice tradition. We just have to become a people that's a bit more mindful of who we are, our bodies, and what we're giving to our kids and the future generations.
You know, I'm a person that I've kind of jumped back and forth between different types of diets. I would incorporate a fast, once again, with our church. And when you go on a plant-based diet, what I love most is the energy that you feel. The itis that everyone gets when they sit down and eat a big plate of macaroni and ribs and chicken and all that stuff, that doesn't happen. And so you feel immediate energy, you feel better, and I found it after a while, my skin was clearing up, you know, your body changes, it's just wonderful. So list to us again, what are some of the advantages of a plant-based diet?
Weight management, disease prevention, mental clarity. I think it also helps with an element of discipline. I think it helps us to be a bit more proactive with our diets too, because now I know that the average, there's not an average plant-based restaurant on every corner in Nassau. So on Sundays I'm meal prepping, okay? And that helps me to save money, okay, in this day and time. But it also helps me be intentional about what I put in my body. And I get to stick to the goals. If you have a weight loss goal, if you have just a lifestyle goal, this is the way to help you do that. It helps to bring a level of, I think, of management. Yeah.
What is your favorite plant-based meal to cook?
I am a Caribbean woman. I am a Bahamian, like a real, I know we plants, hear me out, but I'm a real Bahamian. And I think this week I made some, I think it was like a we call it Marc's tails, but I made it out of jackfruit. I love Caribbean inspired meals. So anything Caribbean inspired or Mexican, between both of them, it's me.
Hey.
That's me right there.
I'm excited. You know, I see it on Instagram where you have all of these varieties of traditional dishes that the vegan chef will take over, and you look at it and be like, wow, this looks exactly like, you know, honey garlic chicken. Well, like you said, it's jackfruit, it's tofu. And it's really about, you know, telling your brain that, look, it looks the same, it has similar flavor profiles, it's good for you, go ahead and eat it. So tell us again, how can people get more info and start to jump on this plant-based revolution with you?
Well, you can visit the website, which is www.helloBahamaFoodie.com. You can also visit the Instagram page, which is _BahamaFoodie, and on Facebook, it's just Bahama Foodie.
That's easy to remember. And once again, we're talking about plant-based diets, talking about feeling better, looking better, saving money, having more energy, all that. You're speaking all the good things this morning. So we'd like to thank Katherine Coakley, owner and lead cook for Bahama Foodie, for coming on and convincing us that plant-based is the way to go. Thank you so much. I'm going to be placing my order online.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
The islands of the Bahamas. Fly away.
What do you want from a cloud solution? You want flexibility and edge? You want to modernize applications with the ability to deliver new ones with lightning speed. You want an infrastructure that's automated, secure, cost-effective, and scalable. You want to give the end user the freedom they want with the control you need. You can't get all that from just any cloud. You need something better. You need Bahamas Cloud. Contact the experts today at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Since 1967, Freeport Oil Company Limited has been dedicated to fueling growth and prosperity in the Bahamas. We have been a constant pillar within the country, striving to invest and support our community through the best of times and the worst of times. For us, Full Call represents 21 years of strength and consistency, consistent leadership, consistent growth, consistent customer service. Through it all, we are resilient. Full Call, fueling growth for people.
I used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem, just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
Welcome back. The Bahamas National Cricket Semi-Finals will see the Lions battle the Westerns and the Police take on the Rising Stars this weekend. Here to tell us more are Marc Taylor, the captain of the Bahamas Cricket National Team, and Rudy Fox, team member of the Rising Stars. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
So we are talking cricket, and no, Bahamas, we ain't talking about the insect, and we ain't talking about the plague in the Old Testament with the locusts. We talking about the sport, the illustrious sport of cricket, and yes, we have Bahamians that play it, and yes, we have a league. So tell us first, Marc, tell us about the teams that are participating in the semifinals this weekend.
Okay, well, this is the semifinals, like you said. Lions is playing Westerns, and Rising Stars is playing the Police Cricket Club. All teams are just about equal, just about even, and in terms of talent. But a few teams still stand out above others.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What team you play for?
I play for the Police Cricket
All
Club.
right. And what about you, Rudy? Which team are you with?
I'm the vice captain of the Rising Stars.
Oh, man, so y'all are having a battle this weekend.
Indeed.
Not much of a battle.
So tell me, Rudy, how many games has it taken for you to get to the semifinals?
We had 6 games. We won 4 and lost 2.
All right. And what was your record for the police team?
I think our record was the same. I think we won 4 and lost 2 as well.
All right.
Pretty much.
Pretty evenly matched, right?
It is.
So, when you speak to the typical Bahamian, are we aware of cricket? Do we support cricket? Or is it true that the Bahamas don't know nothing about cricket and all we know about is baseball and softball? What's your take?
My take is I think it's a certain taste.
Yeah.
If you have a crowd like I'm a law enforcement officer, I'm a correctional officer, I could invite my squad mates out, I could invite my teammates out from softball. So it goes down to who you invite out.
Right.
So the more you know or the more you invite, the more we have to watch.
So tell me, what are the strengths of these 4 teams you think they're in the semifinals? Give me your take on it.
Well, I'll speak for my team. I don't want to speak on I don't want to give them any advantages.
Right.
My team, we well-rounded. We have some strong key batters. Some people who is actually in good condition in terms of batting. They're batting pretty well right now. One of them would have had a high score, I think, last weekend or week before last.
Right.
A very high score. So I'm really looking forward to this semi-finals.
Police ready to lock it up. Tell me, what about the Westerners? What's your team's biggest strength?
My team is the Rising Stars, but
Rising Stars, sorry.
we are more diverse than the police.
All right.
We are more well balanced than the
Oh, I
police.
like that. I like that.
At any given day, we can not be beaten by the police.
Oh, I love this. Sound like some fierce competition is going to be going on this weekend.
Of course.
I guess if I were to ask either one of you, if you were to place a bet on who's going to make it to the finals, I guess I could probably figure out what your answer is, eh?
Yeah, you should save your money and just bet.
Just bet on the Rising Star?
Just bet.
All right.
Wow.
So tell us, for somebody who hasn't watched cricket before, who's never seen the sport, what is it about the match that makes the game that makes it exciting, and why people should come out and watch?
Well, the match, people compare it a lot to baseball, except, baseball have a foul territory and what's that, whereas cricket, it's an oval field, there's no foul, you can hit the ball wherever, as far as you like, you can run as much as you like until the ball is returned back in. So it's just getting to learn the rules, and once you get to learn the rules, it becomes really fun, especially down towards the end of the game, a close match.
Right.
Deciding by 1 ball or a couple of runs or something like that. It could really become real exciting.
I agree. It is one of those sports where it gets exciting down to the wire, down to every ball, down to every run, and you can be in a situation where you're biting your nails, waiting for that final play. So tell me, the team that wins overall in the final, what do they win? What's the prize that you get?
We get trophies along with individual trophies, but it's more about the game itself.
Right.
The bragging rights.
Oh,
Bragging rights,
man,
yeah.
you ain't even got to tell me that. I can sense it already.
That 1 year of bragging rights.
So this is the domestic league. Are there any international matches that are coming up for the Bahamas national team?
Well, the national team is starting training the same month, I think in about a week and a half or 2 weeks. There's some matches that are in the making. I wouldn't want to prematurely say exactly when, but we training for something that's supposed to happen sometime early next year, I think.
That's awesome. Tell us, how did you get involved in cricket? What made you interested in starting the sport?
In 2003, I went to Jamaica and I schooled in Jamaica.
All right. Hey,
so that was the introduction of the sport.
Yeah, see, Jamaica, I went to Mona, and we used to play spine cricket there on Chancellor Hall on the sidewalk. I will have to say Block X. We destroyed Block I. You know, give thanks to our supreme bowler, Johnny Tapia. I see you there in Trinidad. But yes, it wasn't until I played the sport on the spine at Mona that I really fell in love with it. So I can see what you're talking about.
Yes, sir.
Getting back to the games this weekend, can anyone come and watch the matches, and what time are they happening this weekend?
Well, anybody, it's open to the public. It's not a fee to watch it or anything like that. The matches start at 1:30 p.m. On both days, Saturday and Sunday, and it lasts for about 3.5 hours. So you have enough time to catch a piece if you don't want to watch the whole thing, or
Sound like church. Nice. 3 hours. That's good. But this is going to be an exciting match. So we got the Rising Stars versus the Police. What do you want to tell our viewers as we close out about the game of cricket, about the match this weekend, and encouraging them to come out and watch?
Well, the game itself is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
The weekend can go any way. I'm hoping it goes in our favor, because this is a very big rivalry right here. And it's just going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a good environment. It's going to be good air. That's all I can say. It's going to be good air.
I love that. Marc, any final words?
No final words. Just come out this weekend and support, support the games all around. I'm not going to say come to a certain game. Whenever you can make it, just come out and support the league itself.
I appreciate that. We got Marc Taylor, the captain of the Bahamas cricket national team, and also a part of the police squad. And we got Rudy Fox, a part of Rising Stars. They're battling out this weekend, the semifinals. Y'all come and check it out. I don't know who's going to win, but I know it's going to be a great match. I can feel the competitiveness in the room on the set. Thank you, gentlemen, both for joining us on Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you.
Don't forget, lick them for 6, eh?
Definitely.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
One thing, two things. Blue thing, all things. Things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right, and in the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
What do you want from a cloud solution? You want flexibility and edge? You want to modernize implications with the ability to deliver new ones with lightning speed. You want an infrastructure that's automated, secure, cost-effective, and scalable. You want to give the end user the freedom they want with the control you need. You can't get all that from just any cloud. You need something better. You need Bahamas Cloud. Contact the experts today at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. We are here at the Mid Show on another fabulous Friday edition of the show. Thank you for joining us dead early. Ebony,
yeah.
How did your first half of the show go?
Oh, my first half was amazing. I got to speak to dynamic educator Keffie and Ferguson-Duncombe, who is also a breast cancer survivor. You know, it's October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So it was very informative as well as very fun as well.
Yeah, and you know, make sure to go and get your mammograms.
Absolutely.
That's always
Save
the call.
the tatas.
There you go, right? I think you could say that. Urka. Tatas? Yeah, I think tatas is good. I seen it on a shirt somewhere in public, right? Okay. We also had a great conversation with Bahama Foodie talking about a plant-based diet, which we all should at least incorporate 1 week of the month. A focused diet that's reducing the intake of, processed
So
meat.
don't do the Bahamian thing.
No, just
You
one
take
week.
1 week.
Pick 1 week out of the month.
All right, so Miss Coakley told you to take 1 week.
1 week.
month.
We can do that. We can do that.
And you can order from her page.
Yes, you go online and you can pre-order. She meal preps on Sundays, and you don't got to worry about nothing.
That does sound delicious.
I think it's good. And then we also had a conversation with the cricketers. As I said, I assume that
Cricketers?
the cricketers. Yeah, not the
You mean
insect.
you know them who's played cricket?
Yes, the
Okay.
people them that play cricket, which is an exciting sport. It is the national sport of the Bahamas, and a lot of people don't
I
know
think
that.
we need to have a conversation about that, by the way.
I think that's good. I think it's good. I like that. But we got more coming up in our second half. We'll be talking to Dr. James Iferenta about his upcoming presentation at the Exuma Business Outlook.
We will also discuss the new minimum wage increase. I'm excited about this, you guys. The new minimum wage increase in our Economic Pulse segment. But before we do that, let's take another look at the weather with Mr. Godfrey Burnside.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Ebony. Morning, Bahamas. And your second look at weather at sunrise, the tropics, and we do have tropical storm Karl at this time. And at 5 a.m. this morning, Karl was located near latitude 20.2 degrees north, longitude 92.4 degrees west, some 115 miles north-northwest of Ciudad del Carmen in Mexico, moving towards the southeast at 6 miles per hour, winds are now 40 miles per hour with higher gusts. And then we have an area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms several hundred miles to the south of the Cabo Verde Islands. This has a low or 20% chance of tropical cyclone formation over the next 5 days. On the local scene, prefrontal activity affected the northwest Bahamas last night, early this morning. Now in the central Bahamas, triggering off showers and thunderstorms, Cat Islands and Salvador, Exuma. But we have some partial clearing across the northwest Bahamas behind that front. The cold front actually moved through the Grand Bahama area later this morning and across New Providence by late afternoon. In the marine forecast today, those winds southerly at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet on northwest Bahamas ahead of that cold front, shifting north to northeast at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet after frontal passage. Northeast to east at 10 knots or less, seas less than 3 feet over the central and southeastern islands. On Saturday across the islands, northeast to east at 15 knots, sea 2 to 5 feet on northwest and central Bahamas, 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet over the southeastern islands. On Sunday, continue northeast to east at 15 knots, sea 3 to 5 feet over the northwest Bahamas, 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet over the central and southeastern islands. Your tides, you can expect a high tide 11:35 this morning. Your next low tide will be at 6:05 this evening. High again tonight at 11:54. Sunset 6:43 this evening. Rises tomorrow at 7:07. UV index 7. Your water temperature 83 degrees Fahrenheit. Honeymoon phase now moving towards the last quarter. Your extended look, weak high pressure builds across the island. That frontal boundary fizzles out by tomorrow evening into Sunday. So we look at a mix of sun and clouds to the weekend, still on the warm side, and 1 or 2 lingering showers around. Temperature daytime will be in the upper 80s, at nighttime in the mid 70s. That puts wrapping your final look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Ebony.
Thank you so much, Godfrey. And surely you have heard the news, the big news, that this week the Bahamas government raised the minimum wage from $210 to $260. And so now we're going to question, what does this mean for business? And here to talk with us about that is Karlos Mackey, the Executive Director and President of MoneyMax, and the President and Prime Financing and Consulting. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning, Ebony. Thank you so much for having me today.
And it's a pleasure having you with us.
Indeed.
Once again, I heard you're
Thank
a regular
you.
here.
Indeed.
So let's talk a little bit about the new minimum wage increase. How long has this been on the drawing board?
I think it's been on the drawing board for a while. Successive governments have talked about minimum wage increases. you've had a movement globally around getting to a living wage. So I think minimum wage is something that's been on people's minds for a long time. The things that have happened over the last 5 years in terms of the issues that we've had because of COVID, as well as the different supply chain issues because of the hurricanes and the rebuilding efforts that we've had, particularly in the northern Bahamas as well as in the southern Bahamas after walking. I think we've gotten to a place where the cost of living is definitely different than it would have been prior to the last increase in the minimum wage.
Oh, wow. So, now let's be real now. You lied. Do you think that this increase is fair?
Well, what I would say is that fairness is in everybody's judgment, but I would say it's both substantial and symbolic. It's substantial because every dollar that somebody who is on the lower end of the earning spectrum earns is important to them.
Yes.
But in a lot of ways, it is symbolic because we don't know exactly how it would have been tied to any kind of cost of living index or any kind of chain index measure. So without all of that detailed information, it is in a lot of respects symbolic. But again, for those persons whose pay may be getting raised by $15 or $10 or $20, when you're at that particular point in the economic, at that point in the economic spectrum, every dollar does matter.
And then, yeah, definitely. Every dollar does matter. So let me ask you this. Do businesses have enough time to accumulate the extra expenditure needed for this pay raise?
Well, I would say yes. I think that between now and January is enough time. Reason being, this is not something that you're talking about where the pay raise is going to be extremely extraordinary. Yes, for some businesses, they are operating on razor-thin margins, but I would say that we have increases in things like the cost of fuel and other types of energy with electricity, other costs around different aspects of our business in terms of shipping went up significantly, that in an import-driven economy that doesn't have processing capacity, definitely those costs continue to go up as businesses, we absorb them. I think it would be less than equitable for us to have a lot of stink in the business community over persons getting a small increase. And again, this increase is important for a lot of those persons, but it's not as though this has been something that's tied to a progressive index chain for inflation so that you have a lot of large increases that are happening all at once. I don't think this is, again, it's not non-important, but at the same time, it's not something that's going to kill businesses. It's really not.
Understood. So there's a big concern that this increase may lead to downsizing within companies. I know the opposition leader mentioned that businesses may lay off staff. So do you think that this will happen?
It may happen in some respects, but I think that, and again, it's that would be in poor taste because that would be, in my opinion, more preferential. Yeah, that's more preferential than it is necessary. Persons may decide that they don't want to go over a particular expense limit with regard to the labor part of their cost equation. But again, we've been absorbing costs in supply chain and other areas. I think as citizens and as stakeholders in our community, business persons need to, for all due respect, have a little bit more heart when it comes to these kinds of things. Paying folk a little bit more in this particular environment, yes, it costs us more to do business, but that also means for the average Joe or Jane, it costs them more to live. You have to have more concern about your employees than to be upset about $15 a week.
Okay, just one final question. Some import duties were recently lowered. How else can the government tackle the high cost of living and make a difference in people's finances? I mean, I know I need it.
Well, here's the thing. We're in an import-driven economy, but our imports are really not serving, or the way that we import are not serving our society in a good way. Our wholesalers and retailers are focused pretty much on importing finished products. So we are not at a place where we can maneuver properly in the commodities markets and so forth and be a bit more creative. If we decided, listen, we don't necessarily grow wheat here, we don't grow rice here, however, a lot of the processing for foodstuffs and other items. If we get to a place where we say, you know what, our focus is more so on importing raw products, semi-finished goods, giving opportunities here for us to actually build out the capacity for what we need as a finished product as opposed to importing the entire finished product, I think we would see more savings and we would see, again, more job growth. We have to think differently about our economy overall. There's only so much taxing that we can do. There's only so much social assistance that we can give.
I agree.
We need to get to the place where we say, you know what, we're going to take certain industries with a 10 times plan, and that means how do we grow these industries 10 times what they are over the next 20 years. If we focus on an industry perspective, the National Development Plan is great, but not everybody is going to agree. So industry by industry, take 5 to 7 of those, focus on a 10 times plan, and we will grow this economy. When the economy is growing, when we have greater worker productivity, we're going to see that the cost of living does come down, because the relative cost of goods with all of the money that's flowing in the economy, everybody is going to feel it in their pockets, and it's going to be a good feeling as opposed to what we feel now.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mackey. Today we were talking with Karlos Mackey, the Executive Director and President of Money Max, and the President of Prime Financing and Consulting. He gave us a lot of important information with regards to the new minimum wage being rolled out in January of 2023. As well as, if you need to contact him, feel free to follow his social media pages, and know that, hey, here at Bahamas at Sunrise, we bring you all of that awesome and great information just so that you could have it handy for you.
The islands of the Bahamas. Fly away.
What do you want from a cloud solution? You want flexibility and edge? You want to modernize applications with the ability to deliver new ones with lightning speed. You want an infrastructure that's automated, secure, cost-effective, and scalable. You want to give the end user the freedom they want with the control you need. You can't get all that from just any cloud. You need something better. You need Bahamas Cloud. Contact the experts today at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Welcome back. Managing trauma and medical emergencies in the Family Islands, the chain of care from event to definitive management, is the topic of our next guest's presentation at next week's Exuma Business Outlook. He is Dr. James Iferenta, Senior Vice President of Medical Affairs, Doctors Hospital Health System. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise, Doc.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. Good morning, Bahamas.
Always a pleasure speaking with someone from the medical profession, but also speaking with you who has dedicated so much of your time, talent, and energy to the medical profession here in the Bahamas. I don't think there's many people who don't know who you are, so thank you for joining us. So this morning we're talking about Family Island healthcare, and we know that most Family Islands do not have state-of-the-art hospitals. So what is the first step in handling a trauma in a remote area?
Well, thank you for that question. And that's a question that's not just for the Bahamas, that is for the world. And what we are doing in the Bahamas for trauma care is simply following the tandems that have been set internationally. So we're looking at getting to the patient or to the victim early, to control the injury early, to get them to resuscitation quickly and find definitive care for them in a timely manner, and therefore prevent death and mortality or morbidity. So that leads us to having training for persons on the ground, so physician and nurse extenders in the form of first responders, in the form of emergency medical technicians, in the form of paramedics, also the persons who work on the ambulance on the ground, having systems that allow immediate access to areas that may be remote, that may be hard to get to, ground support in the form of ambulance. Sometimes it's ground ambulance, sometimes it's air ambulance. So all these pieces come together under medical direction by persons like myself to provide timely and immediate access to high-level care that will prevent further injury and death.
So tell us, what is the process to get somebody who's been critically injured on a family island or in a remote area? What's the process to get them to a hospital?
So the first thing, like I said, is to prevent further injury. We work through persons on the ground. Once we get a call, emergency services 24/7. And if we get a call, then we immediately begin to assist the persons with who is there, who can help, who is trained, who is a bystander, who's a first responder, and how they can assist, whether it's a car accident, whether it's electrical shock, high voltage shock, whether it's a drowning. And once we do that, we identify where is the closest place on the ground that they can receive immediate care. This is usually a clinic, it may be a government clinic, it may be private, and once we have them in that location, then there are the other wheels in motion to get them evacuated from the island or the key, if indeed that is what the medical persons on the ground advise us to do.
So you mentioned some of them earlier, but remind us, what are some life-threatening conditions that would require immediate attention and being, let's say, airlifted out to the hospital in Nassau or Grand Bahama?
So the common ones we have in our environment are strokes, drooping of the face, slurring of speech, confusion, persons who exhibit that, and also heart attacks, chest pain that is pressure-like in nature, that's associated with sweating, and these tend to occur earlier on in the day, overnight. And then, so when we get those calls, we immediately have a high index of suspicion. The other thing is high impact velocity vehicular accidents, especially where there's a rollover or there is an ejection or there is a death on the scene. So all of these need to be evacuated to higher level care in a scientific, medically safe fashion as soon as possible.
So a little birdie has whispered to me that there's going to be a doctor's hospital location opening in Georgetown, Exuma. So tell us, when will this clinic be open and what services will it offer?
So Doctor's Hospital is no longer just Doctor's Hospital Collins Avenue. Doctor's Hospital is a health system. Doctor's Hospital is in a number of locations, like you would know. COVID has shown us this is the direction we need to go in. We need to take the care out to the people. Exuma is a part of that move. And in Exuma, we will have a comprehensive health care center, which will provide urgent care, primary care, NHI care. It will be supported by diagnostics in the form of X-ray, ultrasound, mammography, laboratory services, pharmacy, the full gamut of care. And it will also be supported by ground ambulance services. We anticipate, all things being equal, that this is going to be a reality for Georgetown as early as November. We do know that there are supply chain challenges that continue to follow COVID, but this is our target at this time.
That's such amazing and exciting news for the residents of Exuma and the nearby islands and Keys. So happy that Doctors Hospital is taking the healthcare to the people where they need it most. Talk to us a little bit about the Doctors Eagle Initiative and healthcare in some other islands in the Bahamas.
Okay, so that's a big part of what we're doing to take the excellent care out. Currently, we already opened a comprehensive center in Kavala Medical Center is the name, and it is in 8 Mile Rock, Grand Bahama. This was a clinic that was owned by a private practitioner, and Doctors Hospital saw fit to come into this space and to continue the great work that that physician has done. And we have opened up a first world state-of-the-art clinic where there is provision for laboratory services. We're going to have x-ray. We have dialysis chairs that provide dialysis. That is a that's an area of the community where there are persons who are on dialysis and traveling 20, 30, 40, even 60 minutes 3 times a week each direction to get this service. And we saw fit to bring this into the community, to support this community, 8 Mile Rock, and to support the environs with this first world hemodialysis technology. Other services that are going to come online, a ground ambulance. We'll also have mammography and x-ray. So the Eagle is about Exuma, Abaco, Grand Bahama, where we'll have 2 locations. The Rockwell will be a flagship, 40,000 square foot, 3-story building, a hospital in the old Okeanos building for those who know Grand Bahama. And this is scheduled for the fall of next year. And this will provide state-of-the-art care, outpatient, inpatient diagnostics, CAT scan, MRI, laboratory services, x-ray. We'll also have a cath lab that can treat heart attacks, and we will have operating rooms for inpatient and outpatient services. So Grand Bahama and Freeport in particular is going to see a revolution in the care, in the access to care, and in the ability to access care, as per our President, Dr. Charles Diggers.
I am so excited to hear about this Eagle initiative. And once again, all the residents of those islands mentioned should be excited that Doctors Hospital is bringing the excellent healthcare to the people. As we wrap up, we noted that next week you're going to be giving a presentation as part of the Exuma Business Outlook. What can our attendees look forward to as part of your presentation?
Well, we've been listening to the residents in Georgetown and indeed in Exuma, and what we want to do is to give them a sneak peek of what they can expect in our center when it opens, but we also want to educate them on how the residents and the persons on the ground can be a part of response to trauma, to accidents, to illness, to help the residents and indeed the visitors to avert death, to avert morbidity and mortality. Doctors Hospital has an Institute of Organizational Learning, and the emergency medical technicians are the soldiers of our health system. They are the physician and the nursing extenders that will be on the ground. They are the persons who will be the first responders, and they are trained by our health system, and they are internationally certified by the National Registry in the United States of America to provide this first world care in an instant. So we want to educate the local persons on this and let them know what the opportunities are going to be to participate in this care, because the care must be supported by the local community. We will bring the science, we will bring the technology, we will bring the know-how, but the residents and the visitors must be part of the response system in any trauma system that is going on.
Well, we are definitely looking forward to that presentation next week, and we thank you for giving us a breakdown of what you'll be speaking about and talking about Doctors Hospitals, Eagle Initiative, and all the great things you're doing across the country, bringing the healthcare to the people. So I'd like to thank you again, Dr. James Iferenta, Senior Vice President of Medical Affairs with Doctors Hospital Health System. Thank you for all the work you do, and looking forward to your presentation next week.
I'm looking forward to being there, and thank you, Bahamas, and have a great day.
Thank you so much. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back. That's a wrap for us today on Bahamas at Sunrise on another fantastic Friday. Thank you for joining us. Just a reminder to send a happy birthday to all October babies out there, including my mummy, my auntie, my nephews, and of course, Demi Forbes. Send love to them, give them a hug if you see them in public, and enjoy your birthday weekend, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
To piggyback on the birthday ride, my father and my sister are also October birthday celebrants. Shout out to, like I said, like he said, all of the October babies. And that's all for us today on Bahamas at Sunrise. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.
Thanks for joining us.